Those scaly bastards tortured little Jason. They made the greatest mistake in the galaxy. Now the furious humans were going to unleash hell and our horrifying pets. The insistent ringing of Roger's cell pierced the darkness. He fumbled for the device, squinting at an unknown number. Declined. Probably a wrong number. The phone rang again instantly. Growling, Roger snatched it up. "Who the hell is this?" he barked. Panicked babbling spilled out. His estranged brother, Mark. "Rog, thank God, it's Jason. He's gone. They took him." Whoa, slow down. Who took him?" "Aliens, Rog. Fucking aliens abducted him. I saw—" An eerily calm voice cut in. "Mr. Carter, my name is Hydrus. Your brother is correct. We have the boy. Come to these coordinates within 1 hour, alone, if you want to see him alive again." The line went dead. Roger's heart pounded. Those Vorta scum. Tensions had steadily risen since they made contact a decade ago, acting so superior. He'd never trusted them. Throwing on tactical gear, Roger sped toward the location. He slowed as a metallic glint appeared ahead, an alien craft. Peering through binoculars, he spotted Jason and a tall, grey figure. Hydrus. Roger gripped his rifle, mind racing. Why take a kid? A show of power over the humans they looked down on? Leverage for demands? No. This was personal. The start of something bigger. If he failed now, Jason was dead, and Earth would be next. Roger had one shot to save his nephew and stop these fuckers before they enslaved humanity. He took a deep breath and stepped into view. It was time to show the galaxy what humans were made of. Roger crept toward the alien craft, rifle ready. Jason stood before Hydrus, the Vorta's cold gaze fixed on Roger. The boy looked frightened, but uninjured. "What do you want with him?" Roger growled. "Why take a child?" Hydrus' thin lips curved. "The boy is merely a means to an end. We've been watching you, Mr. Carter. Your skills could prove quite useful to the Vorta Empire." "Useful how?" "We need you to carry out a mission. Infiltrate and sabotage a rival species military base. With your elite training and combat experience—" "No fucking way," Roger spat. "I don't work for alien scum like you." The Vorta's demeanor shifted, his eyes hardening. He nodded curtly. 2 massive alien guards emerged from the ship, seizing a screaming Jason and hauling him aboard. "The child will suffer greatly if you refuse to cooperate," Hydrus said coldly. "You have 24 hours to report to our embassy and accept the mission. Otherwise your family will start receiving the boy back, piece by piece." With that he turned and boarded the craft. It lifted off, leaving Roger shaking with rage and despair. Those bastards. But what choice did he have? They had Jason. Roger couldn't let the kid be tortured. He'd do the mission and make the Vorta pay. Racing home, he ripped open his cache of Black Ops contact protocols, the ones for reaching his old squad. They wouldn't be thrilled to hear from him after he'd ghosted years ago. But if anyone could help infiltrate an alien installation and beat the Vorta at their own game, it was his team. Time to round up the old crew. Roger's phone buzzed incessantly. He hit the contact marked Boomer and immediately launched into a frantic explanation as his old demolitions expert teammate answered with a curt "Sup." Brendan Boomer McGee's irritation at being dragged away from his cushy private security consultant gig evaporated as he listened to Roger's dire situation. "Shit, Rog, that's FUBAR. I'm in. Let's get our boy back and make E.T. pay." Next, Roger called Liang Glitch Shen, their team's hacker extraordinaire. Glitch grumbled about being woken up before noon, but quickly started clacking away at his keyboard, scouring the dark web for any chatter on Vorta operations when he learned the stakes. Finally, Roger rang up Marcus Doc Delaney, their unflappable medic. The line barely connected before Doc interrupted. "I heard. Boomer texted. Jason's going to need more than a Band-Aid. I'll prep for anything." Within hours, the team assembled at Roger's place, grim but determined. Boomer hauled in crates of procured military hardware as Glitch walked them through infiltration scenarios based on embassy schematics he'd hacked. Doc prepped trauma packs with a look that said he hoped they wouldn't be necessary. As darkness fell, they crept toward the Vorta compound, decked out in tack gear. Glitch spoofed the external cameras, looping innocuous feeds to cover their approach. They subdued the perimeter guards with ruthless efficiency and slipped inside, following Glitch's mapped route to a hidden elevator. The lift descended into a nightmarish underground lab. Boomer placed DEET cord charges at critical junctures as they delved deeper, ready to bring the house down once Jason was safe. Heart-wrenching screams led them to a chamber where Jason was strapped to a table, writhing in agony as Vorta technicians prepared to inject him with a nasty-looking needle. Blinded by rage, Roger put the Vorta down hard, double-tapping until his mag clicked empty. Doc rushed to stabilize Jason, swearing under his breath. The kid was in bad shape. Glitch pulled data from the lab servers and went pale. These sick fucks were using kids like Jason to perfect a bioweapon meant to wipe out humanity. They grabbed Jason and the bioweapon intel and hauled ass topside. Boomer hit the clacker as they piled into their vehicle, collapsing the tunnels and erasing evidence of their incursion. At a safe house, Doc worked to save Jason as Glitch combed through the data. His eyes widened in horror. This was just the tip of the iceberg. The Vorta had a sprawling operation with dozens of black sites doing the same horrific experiments. If Jason wasn't the only victim, they had to find the other kids. But how could 4 humans take on a galactic power like the Vorta without bringing their wrath down on Earth? As Doc tended to Jason's wounds, the team huddled to plan their next move. Suddenly, Jason's eyes fluttered open. He struggled to sit up, rasping urgently. "Wait, I heard something while they had me." Roger knelt beside him. "Easy, kid, what did you hear?" "Their weapon. It's almost ready, but they need this rare stuff, omnium, from some planet." Glitch's fingers flew over his tablet. Omnium. Extremely rare mineral with unique properties. Only known deposit is on... shit. Uninhabited world. Kepler 438b. Boomer frowned. "So what, they're gonna take a space road trip to get their magic rock?" Jason nodded weakly. "They said they're sending a team 2 days from now. If they get it, they'll have everything they need to wipe us out," Roger finished grimly. Frank's gravelly voice cut in over the comms. "Not if we get it first." "Dad, how did you—" "Later I can get you a ship. Prototype fast and stealthy, but no weapons." Roger frowned. "We'll be sitting ducks." "Only if they see you coming. Grab the omnium and get the hell out." Rushing to the secret hangar, the team froze in shock as Frank himself strode out to meet them, decked in battle-scarred combat armor. Roger gaped. "What are you doing here?" Frank met his gaze. "Watching your 6 like old times." As they rocketed toward Kepler 438b, Glitch monitored Vorta transmissions. "They're already there, dug in heavy, sir." Touching down, they crept toward the dig site. Towering perimeter walls bristled with gun emplacements. Boomer low whistled. "Gonna be one hell of a party crasher." "Leave that to me," Glitch smirked, tapping furiously, sending their security a little update. The guns fell silent. A section of wall shimmered and vanished. Glitch winked. "Neat trick, huh?" Slipping inside, they crept toward the main pit. Scores of Vorta excavators swarmed over a strange glowing vein of crystalline mineral. "Jackpot," Boomer hissed. "Enough omnium to ruin everyone's day." Nearby, a small ship was being loaded with crates of the stuff. Roger nodded to it. "There's our exit." Suddenly, alarms blared. The Vorta had detected their intrusion. Roger cursed as soldiers poured into the site, plasma rifles crackling. "So much for stealth. Get to that ship." All hell broke loose as searing plasma bolts filled the air. The team dove for cover, returning fire. Boomer lobbed a grenade into a cluster of Vorta, scattering them like ragdolls. "I thought this was supposed to be an in and out," Glitch yelled over the din. "Change of plans," Roger barked. He spotted their opening. The Omnium ship's ramp was still down, its crew occupied by the firefight. "There, move!" Laying down covering fire, they dashed for the ship. Roger paused as a plasma bolt sizzled past his cheek. His father was pinned down behind a crate, Vorta closing in. Their eyes met across the chaos. An unspoken understanding passed between them. Frank surged to his feet with a roar, drawing the Vorta's attention. "Get the Omnium out of here, I'll hold them off." "Dad, no," Roger shouted, but it was too late. Frank charged into the fray, firing from the hip, a one-man army. The Vorta swarmed him like angry hornets. Anguished, Roger forced himself to turn away, sprinting up the ramp. Doc and Boomer manhandled the crates of Omnium aboard as Glitch fired up the engines. Roger cast one last look at the seething melee below. Frank had vanished beneath a mob of Vorta. Choking back furious tears, Roger slammed the hatch closed. The ship lurched spaceward, plasma peppering its hull. Roger slumped against the wall, his father's final words echoing in his mind. They had the Omnium, but the Vorta would be coming for them, and when they did, there would be hell to pay. Seizing the chance, Roger barked orders over the comms. "Lay down covering fire, I'm going for that ship." His team unleashed a blistering hail of shots, pinning the Vorta down as Roger sprinted across the war-torn dig site. Plasma bolts sizzled past, close enough to singe his hair. Roger poured every ounce of speed into his legs. The Vorta ship was already spooling up, thrusters glowing red-hot. Roger lunged with desperate strength, snagging the closing ramp and hauling himself aboard a millisecond before it slammed shut. The interior was dim, lit by ominous red combat lighting. Roger whipped out his sidearm as three startled Vorta crew spun to face him. He drilled each one center mass before they could even raise their weapons. Charging into the cockpit, Roger found the pilot frantically jabbing at the controls. He pistol-whipped the alien into unconsciousness and dumped him out of the chair. "Raj, what the hell are you doing?" Frank's voice crackled over the radio, taut with fear and anger. "What I have to," Roger replied grimly, seizing the unfamiliar controls and wrenching the ship into a steep climb. "Get the team out of here, Dad. I'll lead the Vorta away." "Like hell you will," Frank roared. "I already lost you once. I won't—" "I haven't lost me yet," Roger cut in. "But you will lose a lot more if the Vorta get that Omnium. The mission comes first. You taught me that." Roger forced his voice not to shake as he added softly, "Jason needs his grandpa. Don't make him lose anyone else today, please." A heavy pause, then a gruff, "Giving me orders now, are you? Guess you really are my son." "I love you, Dad." "I love you too, son. Give 'em hell." Roger gunned the thrusters and rocketed into the angry red sky. A glance at the scanner showed dozens of Vorta fighters peeling away from the battle to give chase. Good. The more on his tail, the fewer threatening his team. The ship shuddered as the Vorta opened fire. Warning klaxons blared. Roger juked and jinked, coaxing every ounce of agility out of the alien craft. But there were too many. Vorta plasma tore into his engines. The ship lurched drunkenly, belching smoke and flame. Roger fought the controls as Kepler 438b's surface rushed up to meet him. If this was the end, he'd make it count. Wrestling the dying ship around, Roger aimed its nose at the heart of the Vorta dig site, a fitting pyre for all that thrice-damned Omnium. He closed his eyes as the excavation complex filled the view screen, bracing for impact. His last thought was of his family, safe. The ship ploughed into the earth like God's own fist. The Omnium stockpiles erupted in a blinding fireball that turned night into day, vaporizing Roger, his ship, and scores of Vorta in a maelstrom of fire and sound. Aboard the human team's vessel, racing away from the doomed planet, the scanner feed whited out as the explosion consumed the Vorta site. A stunned silence descended over the cabin, broken only by muffled sobs. Frank stared at the fading blast, eyes hollow. He looked like he'd aged a decade in seconds. The achingly long flight back to Earth passed in a grief-stricken daze. As they landed, Jason rushed into his father's arms, the two clinging to each other and weeping. In the days that followed, Roger's sacrifice was splashed across every news feed, the fearless hero who gave his life to single-handedly thwart an alien threat to all mankind. Medals were awarded, speeches were made. But his family took little solace. They knew the true cost of his bravery. At Roger's memorial, thousands gathered to pay their respects. Dignitaries heaped praises on the fallen warrior. The air buzzed with somber pride. Suddenly the skies darkened. A collective gasp rippled through the crowds as a vast Vorta armada materialized overhead, battleships bristling with weapons. The Vorta Supreme Commander's grim visage appeared on every screen, his voice booming across the globe. People of Earth, you have spilled Vorta blood and destroyed our sacred Omnium. This unprovoked act of savagery will not go unanswered. His eyes glinted with malice. We came to your world in peace, seeking only cooperation. In return, you lashed out with violence. The Supreme Commander leaned forward, his face filling the screen. The time for subterfuge and half measures is over. You have proven you cannot be trusted with the freedom you so cherish, so we will take it from you. Vorta soldiers began materializing on the streets in flashes of sickly light, weapons already firing. Screams filled the air as the crowds scattered in panic. Earth's conquest begins now by force and without mercy. All who resist will be destroyed. This is the way of the Vorta. This is the price of defiance. The transmission cut to black as all hell broke loose. The war for Earth had begun. You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.